What's up, everyone? It's Wolfgang back with another Dorkfish review, and I am excited for this one and for the rest of the month because it is our Halloween month. It's all horror, and anyone who knows me knows I love horror. I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday, and I am excited to get to these reviews because I've been waiting to do them. So we're going to do all this month my top favorite Mezco horror figures. And so obviously you see today we're kicking it off with Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street, played by Robert Englund, a fantastic character from an amazingly horrifying movie. But enough gushing about what we're going to do this month and the movie. We're going to go ahead and get into the figure. So let's get to it. Alright, and so as I stated earlier, Nightmare on Elm Street, fantastic horror movie starring Robert Englund as this man here, Freddy Krueger. I'm not going to get into a lot of specifics about the film. I presume it's been out for so long, I presume you guys already know what the film's about. But that being said, we're going to get into the figure and its interpretation of the character, and it is spot on. This is Mezco really flexing their muscle and showing you what they can do with a property like Freddy Krueger, and they, for the most part, nail him. So as always, the first thing we're going to look at is accessories. And you'll notice he comes with already on him 2 open hands, open palm hand for slashing, and the other open palm hand, of course, just for display, however you like. The hat's on his head, which I'll take off in a few moments, and the head's already on him, which is the smiling head or grinning head. Now he comes with 3 other heads, so 4 heads total, which I like. The first one I want to show off is the frowning head, which I think is fantastic. I mean, look at the detail. Look at the detail all the way around. I mean, and it's like this with all of the head sculpts. They really, really nailed it, and I want to show something off with these head sculpts too, because they really nailed it. So this is just a scowl or a neutral face. But looking at them side by side, they didn't really miss a beat. Pretty much so all of the scarring and the sculpting, everything all stays the same throughout, which I love. So it's pretty much so the same all the way around, so that way there's no inconsistencies in the heads. But yeah, so here's the scowling head or just neutral. And then this one, which is amazing. So you've got this, and it kind of looks ugly, and you see the slit around. You've got this from the first movie where he pulls off his own face. It's a little tricky. There we go. And that underneath, that is dead on from the film. It is awesome. So I'm very, very happy to have that pretty cool little piece. It just pops right on there and it pops right off. It shows the mouth underneath and the eyes, which I really like. I mean, just so wicked. Very, very cool to have. It comes with, inside the box, a separate gloved hand. So more of a pointing gloved hand, or if you want to do it like he's gesturing something. There's a couple different ways. I think it's actually particularly from the scene in which he makes a claim that this is God. When the girl's running in her dream, says, "Oh God," he says, "This is God." I think that's when he was wiping the claw across his face. So another famous scene in the movie where he cuts his own fingers off and you see the green ooze squirt from his fingers. You get that hand right there. If you want to recreate that scene, you get another kind of stylized palm, open hand, not really sure what to call that. And then you get one fist, which makes sense because with that kind of glove, you can't really close your fist. And then this is the only accessory that doesn't make sense to me. It's the trash can lid. I'm not really 100% on why we got a trash can lid. I need to go back and look at the significance. It's been a few minutes since I've seen the film, but unless anybody else knows, and if you do, comment down below. Yeah, so that being said, that's all of his accessories, with the exception of what was on him that we were going to discuss. And so you can see the gloved hand here, and the other palmed hand. So we talked about the hat. The hat comes off, fits on all the heads very well. And then the grinning face, and this is my favorite head sculpt. The grin is just spot on. I'm really, really digging. I'm really happy with that. So yeah, very, very, very happy with the accessories. For the most part, I think are great. So with that being said, we're gonna go to aesthetics. Now, here's the thing, aesthetically speaking, this figure is fantastic. I mean, they nailed the outfit. In the first movie, he didn't have stripes. In the following movies, he would have stripes on his sweater on the arms. But in the first movie, he did not. So I like the attention to detail there. They could have easily put stripes on the arms, and it would have been a little off, but no one would have cared. Overall, great attention to detail. You get the pants, the boots, which will bring, I mean, all cloth, of course, Mezco is known for. The boots are fantastic. Now, I think these boots are used 2 other times, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe these aren't. Looking at over at my Jason, I'm seeing the treads a little different. So maybe they were used for, potentially were used for Ash though, I think they were used for Ash. I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't know, I'll double check that. But yeah, the boots look fantastic. No tread on the bottom. Got peg holes for the stand that it comes with. The stand that it comes with is pretty cool too, because it's the front cover of the stand. Excuse me. The front cover of the stand is the cover or the poster for Nightmare on Elm Street, which is really cool. I like the fading and the dark details on it. The dirt and ash look all the way around, just lining the center of the back. I like that a lot. Here's a huge thing for me. Attention to detail. We talk about attention to detail. They didn't have to do that. They really didn't have to do that, because this is covering it. Like here, normal body. I'm okay with that. There's nothing wrong with that, because, I mean, this is covering it. But this, that is amazing. I'm really, really happy they did that and painted it. They didn't just sculpt it, they painted it. So really, really cool on their part. I don't think it goes all the way up to the bicep area. I'm pretty sure it just stops at the forearm. Hard to tell, but I can double check that. And then, like we talked about with the heads, I mean, just the attention to detail, the wrinkling, the scarring, the paint, the teeth. I mean, just everything. Aesthetically, this is a pleasing figure. I mean, even the glove. So I'll get that up close for you. The glove, pretty sweet. Like that they did the tears in the palms. And then speaking of palms, even in the hands, even on the fingers, the details. So yeah, I think they really nailed it. The thing is, I've had NECA, and I think NECA is a fantastic horror line. But for me, these just blow them out of the water in terms of the Freddy Kruegers and the Michaels and the Jasons. I could say that NECA is definitely a run for money on the Jasons. I mean, obviously they have more versions, more variants and everything, but I mean, just for me, I think these are a little more spot on. And I like the accessories that they come with for the most part. Scaling wise too, I'm a 112 guy typically, so I kind of really like these to fit in with a lot of my other lines. I'm not huge particularly, except for the Storm collectibles, I'm not particularly huge in getting lines that are out of scale with the majority of what I have, because I'm just weird like that. But I think it was very, very well nailed, very well executed. Aesthetically speaking, you couldn't ask for a better looking Freddy to put up on the shelf and pose around. But the question then becomes is articulation. So we're gonna get into that. So, as you know, he's on a ball joint in the neck, so the face doesn't move, or the head doesn't move independently. So you can only get about that far up, about that far down. Of course, you've got wiggle room. You turn the head, move it around, all that, right? Arms, surprisingly high. Of course, you can't go full 360 because of the cloth, but pretty good ways forward and back. It's a nice and loose bicep swivel. You could pretty much do a 360 on the bicep. That's no problem. This is a double jointed elbow. Boom. Pretty good bend there. Of course, you know it's the pin and hinge swivel for the wrist and hand. No problem. Got a pretty decent, not amazing, but decent crunch forward. A little bit back, but not a lot. You can help him look up a little bit, like if he's looking up at a tall Jason or whatever, if you do a Freddy versus Jason. Of course, you can turn in both aspects. So when you put the crunch together from both, you get a nice little bend. Because you got an upper abdomen and you've got the hip joint or the waistline. So there's that. Leg kicks pretty well forward. All things considering for these cloth pants. Even a split, not as bad as you would think with these cloth pants. Of course, you've got the thigh, double jointed knee. You can pretty much so put heel to butt. I'm pretty certain there's a boot swivel. Yeah, boot swivel. And ankles. So he doesn't have a lot of ankle movement. So ankle can come that far down. Can only go about that far up, so not really much. Pivot, kinda, and turn. You're better off turning at the boot. So that would be probably the biggest complaint, is the ankle articulation. But otherwise, I mean, he's pretty damn stout. I mean, but it's Freddy Krueger. He's not, I guess depending on what kind of dream you're setting up, he's not doing a lot of crazy stuff. It's usually not as hard to stand up, but the kind of dial I got him on got a little bit of bumps in it. 1 second here. So yeah, overall, I think he's a fantastic figure. I mean, depending on the kind of dream you're setting up, yeah, you may want Freddy to do a couple different poses. He might not, but majority of poses he can do with this body. This figure is excellently put together. Very, very, very well done. So I'm very happy with that. But now we're going to get into some size comparisons. And since we brought it up, we're going to have him here next to, bring him back to his old homeboy, Jason. Yeah, so there's him next to Jason. Him next to my favorite horror classic. Well, I say horror classic, my favorite slasher classic, Michael. Significant height difference there. I didn't realize there was. Can't wait to see Jason and Michael next to each other. I never thought about that. But yeah, so him there next to, we're gonna do a NECA Predator from AVP, my favorite one. Wow, what a height difference. And then for Shiggles, we'll get him next to a engineer in full armor from Prometheus or the Alien series. Yeah, pretty good looking next to each other. So I think overall, scale-wise, he's pretty good. He is the smaller of the characters, which, I mean, it makes sense. Freddy wasn't a huge guy. He was just an average guy. So I think articulation, I think looks, I think accessories, I think everything was nailed. Like I said, I'm still not 100% on the trash can lid, but otherwise, there is nothing majorly wrong. I can really point out the figure that's a deal breaker. I mean, looks fantastic. He moves fantastic. He's got extra accessories. You've got a lot of different options with him, posability and variances. So, I mean, really, 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 really good. So really, really happy with this figure. Definitely well worth it if you're a horror fan or a Freddy fan, or just a collector of Mezco. He's, I think, a really high up there on the Mezco list of excellently made figures. So that being said, guys, I am excited about the rest of this month. I've got 4 more reviews to do. Of course, you know, Jason and Michael are coming. And then I've also got Pennywise and Nosferatu. Those, I mean, let's be honest, those are my 5 favorite Mezco horror figures. I've got some other ones, but those are ones that really stand out to me as being the best, at least for now, because there's always more coming around the corner. So that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. If you have, smash the like button, share, subscribe, and come back again next week for the next review. Till then, deuces, guys. Later.